welcome back. Today we have a very big topic to cover. Me and
Very.
Yin have recently heard about the Kirk situation, and we wanted to voice our opinions. Give our little yap session on that.
Let's say we did really good on our last video when it came to Schlepp, so we feel like it should be a returning series. So before we begin, it's kind of a bad time to talk about this kind of stuff, but you know how a YouTuber works. If you want to see more like this, make sure you leave a comment, like, subscribe, all the usual. All my socials are down in the description, you already know. Discord, all that. But anyways, let's not waste any more time on that. Let's talk about Kirk. So the Kirk was a very reasonable man, I'd say, at the ripe age of 31.
Mhm. Although controversial, he wasn't a bad person.
Yeah, he definitely was not a bad person. Now, something
Although
I
he
will
wasn't a
bring.
good person,
Mhm.
he wasn't bad.
Say, when it comes to Kirk, he had plenty of controversies as a political standpoint of a person. And just to point out, me and D are not political whatsoever. So
Nope.
when it comes to political controversy, we're not dealing with it. So please step away from the comments. If you're going to type something about politics, we're not doing it. If you do, we're ignoring you. But anywho, we were back where I was getting here. His controversy was usually about politics and the transgender rights and stuff of that nature. And I'm not gonna put my personal opinion of what I think he said was right, and neither is D. The main reason for that
Mhm.
is because we're not gonna start a chain of hatred towards us or people in the comments. We're not gonna be doing that. This is not a place to despise each other. It's a place to, protect each other. As Kirk says, violence just leads to more violence. He's a
Mhm.
man. He was a very wise person, trying to stray away of, like, how he said transgenders are mentally ill and everything of that nature. He also spoke a lot of truth about the human nature of people, and him doing that was one of the biggest reasons I liked Kirk. See, I was a person that never truly figured stuff like that out until I noticed how Kirk did it. And I kind of use that to my day-to-day life. It's something that sticks with me. He gave a lot of hope to me to figure out, life ain't gonna be that bad. It doesn't have to be this way, in a sense.
Again, not a bad person, but also not a good person as well.
Yeah. So we went ahead, and as you can see, I'll use my mouse here. We got a lot of notes to go over, but we're not gonna go over everything word for word, of course. But Um, we'll go with some, like, basic facts about Kirk, because some people didn't know him until they saw his face. I was one of those people. I'm terrible with fucking names, absolutely terrible. I say it took forever when I learned D's first name, his actual name. It took me forever to actually
Mhm.
call him his first name outside of um, social media, because you gotta respect people's
It was a
privacy and
lot.
whatnot. I say there's people on my channel that know my real name. D knows my real name. I say it used to
Oh
be my
yes.
old channel name. And some people figured it out because of my legacy tag on Discord that I quickly turn off. But
Don't worry.
Charlie,
And
yeah,
the rest.
yeah, it's okay though. I say we got some very understanding people right here. But Charlie was born on October 14th, 1993. He's he's fairly young to be assassinated.
Right
I
below
mean,
the age of 31.
yeah, it's really sad that that's how quickly he died, because he believed in something and he wanted that to be his legacy. Like, it's the feeling of, like, you sit there and be like, somebody didn't approve of him, so they shot him. I mean, like, and before we even move on with that statement, actually, I want to talk about the conspiracy theories very broadly. And the reason I want to talk about that is because it's bullcrap. The government, like, some of them I've heard is the government was the reason they died. The bodyguards are the reason he died. Like, they were in on it. Like, I've heard all this bull crap that just isn't true. People are so skeptical about this stuff. By all means, I hate the U.S. government. Now, it has its pros, but it also has plenty of cons. Like, by all means, I don't think
Yeah, it's.
our government's
I mean,
perfect.
yeah.
So, but does somebody work on a different government for the U.S. for the past 250 years that is proven to work? No. So we're not going to change it. I'm going to quote my man Richard on that. He's a buddy of mine. But say it's just kind of ridiculous that he had a dream and it was taken away from him because of one bullet from 200 yards away on a rooftop. He knew there was a risk going to Utah at that specific place. That's even with every other place. There's always a risk that somebody's gonna plan it and shoot him. I mean,
Oh, even when he got shot, people were cheering too. Like as soon as he had gotten shot.
there were some people cheering, and then there was most of them that fled. I just saw a video surface that I'm not saving to put in this video, but a black man was going onto the field when he was already pulled away and everybody was kind of out of there. He went on to the stage where the hats were and just took a whole bunch of them and threw them out to people, just disrespecting the place he just died. Like he was shot and dead the second it hit. If you looked at that, health professionals were actually looking at that video of the close-ups of him getting shot. And basically, the pose he made was the curl up. It's because he did brain damage to his brain stem. So if you do brain damage to your brain stem, you might as well just consider yourself dead. The bullet
Literally.
penetrated and hit his brain stem, severing it. My guess is, and he just died. He wasn't going to survive that. He was in critical condition when he was at the hospital, probably brain dead, and then eventually just died because of blood loss and everything else. Because there's plenty of vital um, veins there, arteries. I think there is an artery in your neck somewhere by your brainstem, but don't take my word on that at all. But it's just kind of ridiculous. But
No medical professional.
mm, let's say another thing about Kirk is, he was known for founding Turning Point USA or TPUSA in 2012. He formed that back when he was just 18 years old. So to think about that from 1993 plus 18, let me pull up my phone. Let's look at what year that was. 1990, oops. 1993 plus 18. That was 2011. Or never mind, I guess 2000. Never mind. Fuck it, whatever. But it was a conservative nonprofit that focuses on promoting uh, conservative values at high schools and from college. But his media presence was also really good. While doing that, he also had his own show called the Charlie Kirk Show. It was a podcast and radio program. Now his views, I can't say like I agree or disagree with them because we're not here to do that. We're here to talk about him and not our beliefs.
Hmm.
But he was known for supporting free markets, the limited government, and being strongly pro-Trump, which I will say I voted for Trump this year, and I did the last time. And I'm not going to say any more on that because there's no reason to, and we're not going to get political. But he often criticized the left wing, which is obvious if he was pro-Trump, and its institutions, especially in education. So yeah, again, I'm not very political, so I don't really have a point on that, and neither are we going to make one. And then his controversies, he was involved in spreading misinformation, apparently, especially around the topics of COVID-19 and the election frauds. And critics accuse him of promoting disruptive rhetoric. I I had ChatGPT generate this, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know what that word is. It's too big for me. But his influence was big. Despite controversy, he was influential in the American conservative politics. Especially among the young conservatives. He was an inspiration to me as well, as I shared before. It's not just because he had these views doesn't mean that he didn't inspire people that didn't care about those views.
Yeah, no. It's just that the way he went about things, it made a lot of people mad in what he was fighting for, especially when he advocated for gun violence. Many people were triggered.
Mhm. Most definitely. And by all means, I didn't fully agree with his gun stuff, you know. Um, it's good to have them, you know, for safekeeping, but I I do agree to an extent that gun violence is terrible. But you can't just moderate it in a free country, you know. Well, you can, but you can't like do it the way I'm thinking of. But you know, like the second I turn 21, I'm buying a sidearm and I'm keeping it in my vehicle. I plan on getting my carry-on permit before I'm even allowed to have a sidearm. So I just got to take a trip up to Rolla and take some classes. So,
I mean, yeah, it's your Second Amendment, right? That's not wrong.
mm,
It's just
it's what
Charlie
they're
Kirk.
used for.
Yeah, literally. Just the way he went about things, and the way and like the way he went about his controversial topics. It was all just like a big shit show. It was all just huge.
And a lot of it really was just a big shit show. And I mean, like, as of his passing, I've seen a lot of some Kirk mentality videos on TikTok. By all means, they're fucking hilarious. But you know, like he was provoking people, and he definitely shouldn't have done that for what he was working towards. You know, he was intentionally provoking, not intentionally or unintentionally. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Give me just a moment. I gotta take a drink. You know what? Body Armor should fucking sponsor me. The amount of times I'm fucking drinking this shit, they need to sponsor me.
You don't
But
mention it enough.
yeah, I'm not lucky. You know, it is what it is. But you know, say in the worst part of I think the worst part of that all was not the fact that well, this is gonna sound bad without context, but let me give you guys the context, okay? Let me say my piece. I don't even think the worst part was him dying. It was the fact that his wife, Erica, and his two kids watched him die right in front of them. Because what
Yeah.
like imagine that in Erica's shoes, okay? Like you're standing there, you're watching your loving and supportive husband do his job, you know, making the money he needs to make to help the kids, but also making sure that people understand, you know, how he feels and how we can make a difference. All just to hear, and then strike him right in the neck and watch him curl up like a dead roly poly. That's traumatizing. You know, his son being born last year and his daughter in 2022. You know, his daughter's gonna remember that. His son, not so much. He's not old enough to remember that stuff. Say, because his daughter's what? Probably 3, maybe 4 now. It's just, she had to she had to take some measures, especially after Charlie's death. So, D, I'm pretty sure you remember. Would you like to tell them?
Yeah. After the shooting, she had to basically change her way of living. She had to get protection. She had to set up trust funds for her kids in case anything happens to her. She had to basically go on full lockdown. It's it's very it's a lot. She's going through a lot right.
Definitely. And Erica needs all the support she can get. I mean, she just lost the man of her life, her lover, her kids' father. She lost a lot of hope, a lot of safety. But at the same time, she's jeopardizing her own safety. See, something D purposely left out there was that she made a promise to Charlie that if for some reason when he was working, life was taken away from him, that she would carry that legacy on. And so what she's doing is going where Charlie was and doing it for him, which jeopardizes, her safety. They know who she is, and
Oh
they
yes.
probably would not mind shooting another person.
Oh no, they wouldn't.
So with that being said, it's just kind of difficult on how, how are you going to carry this out without jeopardizing your own protection? But
Because you'll end up in the same position as your husband, being criticized and ridiculed for having these opinions, and you might be the next one on the chopping block. It's scary.
it really is. And I mean, I've been a person, in high school, I was a person of, doing what kind of like Charlie did, not really caring about, like I care about what other people think and say, but like my opinion is typically the better one out of the bunch. Now, I won't say that I'm always correct, yada, yada, yada. No, fuck that. I was, by all means, I'm retarded. But, um, I was always that kid that always fought for my perspective, and I still do to this day. I mean, by all means, it takes me 10 years to get it out of me because I have a stuttering issue half the time when I'm talking in front of a camera or somebody that's really important. I mean, you guys can hear it as throughout this video, I stutter every so often. But and it's just one of those things where like I don't let people throw me down, no matter their opinion. But I definitely want to still hear him out. And that was his whole thing. He had that mic there for a reason to let those other people be heard. But he was also making sure that, hey, just because you're sharing this doesn't mean you're always right. Because a lot of his evidence wasn't just a personal opinion, it was genuine facts.
Yeah.
He's gone, and the only thing
And
we can do is, admire what he's done for us and what he will still do with his company.
mhm.
You gonna say something? Or you're just gonna, mm-hmm.
I mean, I really don't have anything for him. I wasn't really his. He didn't really mean nothing to me, so it's like I don't mind that he's dead, but at the same time, a man was killed. A person was had their life taken away, and that that's just wrong. Even if he had controversial opinions, did things in a very weird way, or just went about it in a horrible way, or in a way that made people triggered, I don't think he should have been killed at all. I think something should have had it happen to him. Probably. I mean, many people would have wished something bad happened to him. I don't think his life needed to be taken away, but something a little bad, but not like I don't know. It's just to me, it's like I don't I don't care for Charlie, but I care that a man had their life taken away. A father was taken away. A husband was taken away. A son was taken away. Somebody who had dreams, who had goals, who had fears and all that was taken away, and that's what's important. And people are celebrating that, and it's wrong. It's not
It
right.
it really is wrong. And I mean, I've seen videos on TikTok of, crowds celebrating, It's really upsetting that you just see the bad side of reality. I have a chemical imbalance in my brain,
Mm-hmm.
supposedly. I did air quotations on the face cam. But um basically, whenever I talk about how, you know, the world's not the way you think it is, it's not just all unicorns and rainbows, like there's really bad shit going on. I'm always told that it's because I'm not taking my medicine. It's not. I mean, I understand. I'm 18, guys. I can understand this shit. Like it's bad. I can't say everything's bad. By all means, if everything is bad, then that's a problem. But a lot of this, like when you grow up, like for my younger audience that don't, understand what it's like to be an adult. I have not been an adult very long, but I have acted like one for the past 3 years. I grew up quite harshly, which I'm not going to go into great detail about it, but I've had some ups and downs in my childhood. Grew up early, mentally, of course, and it's hard work. It really is. But if you get something like that going for you, like Charlie had, a business, a wife, kids, there's not a lot to worry about. But now that Charlie's gone, that whole dream shattered.
His goals, his ambitions, everything.
Gone. In the blink of an eye. So, with
All
that being
because
said,
somebody didn't like what you said.
yeah, I say that's just terrible. But with that being said, guys, I want to thank you guys for joining this little podcast slash yap session. So you guys are stutter. But I appreciate you guys watching through. Leave your opinions and comments down below. I will be replying to all of them because I don't get enough comments around here. So thank you guys so much for watching. D, I appreciate you coming to speak on our little podcast. We should definitely make a name for this. We're gonna have to make a name for this
Of
series.
course.
I'd say if you guys got any ideas down below for a name, you could always leave that for us. But other than that, make sure to go join the Discord. I'll show it to you guys right now. We have a lovely little area. We currently have Twitch sub entries going on for a free Twitch sub to my Twitch. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. And me and D will see you in the next one. Peace out.
Bye.